So, as you know, I'm Cynthia, and I'm the host of the reality series CPS the Horror Stories. I'm not a social worker or an attorney, just a mom who struggled with having CPS in my life. After 2 years of fighting, I did get my kids back, and now I do this show for parents to just share their truth and be able to just have a voice and finally be heard. So, Jess, can you introduce yourself again and then give us a quick
like a brief little story?
Yes.
Sure. Hello, my name's Jessie. My name's Jessica. A lot of people call me Jessie. I have 2 cases open with CPS, one for my daughter who is 6 and one for my son who is 1 month old. My first case with my daughter is with my past relationship, my ex-fiance, and basically after we split, his mother took me to court to gain custody of my child, and she lost. She accused me of a lot of things, and I was able to disprove them. And after being denied custody, I later get a knock on the door a month later, and it's CPS accusing me of the same things I was accused for with my mother-in-law. So for the last year, I've been struggling and kind of battling with CPS to get my kids back. And I now have to take classes, do visits, do counseling, be evaluated for mental health, be evaluated for domestic violence. And I have to do random drug tests, sometimes 3 drug tests in one day. So it gets pretty difficult. My newest case with my son, he's with his paternal grandparents, so he's safe, and my boyfriend and I were supposed to be living there with them, and we're not able to be there right now because of CPS, because of our parental rights being taken. So I feel more so for him, it's completely unfair because he's never had a case open with them. And they kind of just like roped him in with me and all of my past accusations. And, you know, it's almost like you can tell a lot of this is just being like thought up or made up, or it's someone's opinion just based off of any little thing. They misconstrue a lot of the things that they write in their reports, which makes it hard for me to disprove and explain my situation. So all that I've been doing is just gathering as much evidence and copies of my clean tests as I can. But I'm always like nervous and scared because I keep getting calls, anonymous calls made to CPS from who I think is my mother-in-law. And I don't know. I can't get her to stop all the accusations.
Will you say which mother-in-law that way? Because in a sense.
Oh yeah. So it's my ex-mother-in-law with my my daughter's father.
Which is the one who has your daughter, correct?
Yeah. So my ex-mother-in-law has my daughter, and then my current boyfriend's mom and dad have my son. So both of my kids are with their paternal grandparents. So both different dads, different cases. But yeah, with the second case, I mean, I'm doing my visits, and I was told by my boyfriend's parents that someone called CPS yesterday and gave him an anonymous tip saying that my boyfriend and my boyfriend's dad are selling drugs, and that the baby's being neglected, which is not what's going on. But someone's out to get me, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm trying to disprove all these allegations, like, damn near every day. And my last meeting with my caseworker for my daughter told me that we are going to be at the 12-month mark, and that they want to suspend my my services. And I said, how could that happen if I'm doing
When was
classes?
this?
This was this week. I met with them the day after I had talked to you. So they told me that we're going to be going to court and that they need to stop my services because I haven't completed everything. And I said, yeah, but if I'm still in the process of completing it, I mean, if it's being done, how can my privileges be terminated? Like, I don't understand why that would happen. So I guess I have to go to court, and I'm gonna try to just petition to do a bond and see if I can get my attorney to request that I have more time, because they don't seem to be taking anything I'm doing into court. So I'm just gonna bring all of my documents and copies of my tests and hope that the judge will see that, because we're supposed to be going to trial. So I think with trial, you get to present evidence, and I haven't been able to do that the last couple hearings. And CPS certainly doesn't volunteer any positive information about me or progress.
No.
And I did a lot of this stuff online because I wanted to have like my own, I wanted to make sure that I'm getting these things done at all costs. And they're trying to have me do everything over again that I've already done through referrals. These appointments keep getting changed on me though, so I was trying to do them on my own online, and at first they said bring in certificates and we'll put them in the report. I brought in certificates, had them make copies, and then when I met them in person, they said, yeah, we're gonna have to terminate everything. We don't have everything that we need to present to the judge. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But at the same time, like, I have everything that the courts asked me to do. I have all of my certificates. And when you did your case, did they ask you to go to a specific place to do your classes and everything? Was all set up?
Yes. So I had to go to parenting classes and domestic violence classes and therapy, individual therapy, and then later on family counseling. Oh, and I always forget to say this part, but I also had to go to counseling with my mother.
Oh, that must have been hard.
It started off hard, and then it just became funny. Because it started off where the therapist was for sure on my mom's side. And so let's see. We'd go in and she would say, my daughter is a habitual liar. That she's crazy, she whatever, and she literally would repeat and repeat. And so then every visit, that's how it would start. She's a habitual liar. And the therapist started basically, are there any other words in your vocabulary?
Yeah, it's like, when do we begin to solve whatever problem you have?
Right. And his view really started to change from, this is an amazing mom who's helping her daughter, her crazy daughter, and all of that, to, I think this woman is crazy.
Yeah, in my in one of my first hearings with my daughter, no, okay, we were probably at like third one. They were, so my ex-mother-in-law from my first case, my daughter, she would keep coming into court, and one day they were like, the attorneys were telling her, this is really just for the parents of the child. Like, you don't have to keep coming to these. And it's like she wanted to stay like informed and see what was gonna be asked of us, or what opinions they had of us. So she would keep coming to these things, and she would volunteer more and more information. And it got to the point where they were like, ma'am, you're volunteering too much. Like, our job here is to reunify these parents with their child. So you need to just you need to
Chill
just
out.
keep to yourself, and just be a foster parent. Because if you're not, if you're volunteering too much information and just piling on the accusations, then we're gonna have to take the child from you. So she quickly zipped it. But there's been some calls that were made anonymously, and I'm
That's
just,
so crazy. That sounds very familiar. So, my mom, same thing, was constantly at all the court hearings, which she's the foster parent. I don't think that they need to be there, right? Like, is that?
yeah, like, you're not really qualified to be here. Like, this isn't about you, really. Like, you're a part of it, but this is about the parents.
And then the judge would tell her same thing, that this is a reunification case and you're not cooperating. And if you continue to butt in, then the kids are going to be removed from your care. And she filed for I forgot what it's called, but it's basically to have permission to have all of the documents from court. Okay. Does that make sense? So that she gets a copy. It's basically so that she
like
has
a copy of the case.
Yeah, so that she has the rights to know the ins and outs of everything going on. Because they don't get a copy of the documents.
Yeah.
But she wanted them.
Yeah, and I think at some point, eventually, like, when someone continues to just be too involved and it's not necessary, like, there's already a case plan, like we had. It's like, that's all there is to it. Like, that's all that's left to do. And meanwhile, it's like, you've already taken my parental rights. You don't have to keep on piling on all these accusations when I'm trying to work them out, even though they're not true. Like, just let me do this. But it's...
Well, and she got mad at one point. She was like, you need to stop threatening that you're going to take the kids away from me. Like, just either do it or be quiet.
Yeah. And it's crazy because for me, my attorney she can kind of like read the situation. She told me, you know, out of the courtroom, she told me, look, I get it. It's like, especially with in-laws and grandparents, sometimes they want to be overly involved, and sometimes they screw up with their own kids, and you see them try to start over with their grandchildren.
Yep.
Completely push, you know, their own kids away. And I feel like that's what's happening now. Like, that's totally what's happening to me. My ex-mother-in-law, she just has it out for me. She wants my kid. Like, she wants my kid. And now I'm like really worried and freaked out that she wants my other kid, because someone from CPS said, you know, we can place the baby with the half sibling. And I was like, no, the baby needs to go with his paternal grandparents. Like, this other family they don't have anything to do with him. Like, that's a whole nother family. So it feels like she wants to foster like my new kid too, for my new relationship. Like, how bizarre is that? It's getting really weird and ridiculous. So
Um,
I've just been trying to educate myself as much as possible
yeah.
and keep copies of just everything. Today they wouldn't give me a copy of my drug test,
Why?
and they were like they're like, just take a picture, because like they've always given me copies, but it's just some days they randomly make things a little bit more difficult for me, it feels like, and some days are fine and everyone cooperates. But I mean, my last talk with my social worker was not great, because he went from 2 weeks ago telling me that I'm on the right track with my visits and doing my classes and counseling and everything, and then
Yeah.
just this week he tells me we don't have it all done, and it's not going to be done before we go to court, so we're going to have to terminate your services. And I'm going, but it's still in the works, like, it's being done. Like, why are you guys going back on like what you're offering me and not letting me finish it? Like, this isn't right. This isn't fair. Like, and it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm trying to just keep track of everything, document everything. I have a diary that I write in every night, so I can go back and remember certain things. And oh, and I've been watching your attorney's videos, and I've been listening in on the radio show, and man, there's so much I've learned that I wish I knew last year.
Yeah. And
So many things.
we're actually gonna set up, because I thought this would be a good idea. We're gonna set up, it's gonna be soon, 1 or 2 days where I have him on my show, and everybody can interact with him and ask him questions.
Yeah.
So if I'm not sure how we're gonna do it yet. We're actually gonna be talking about it tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you have questions, you want to be part of it, write
Definitely.
that down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I already have some questions written down, and then even some answers that I've heard other people ask questions that I've wanted to ask myself. And I'm glad I watched the video on what to wear to court, because
Right?
I mean, not that I wore like jeans and flip-flops or anything. I didn't, but I did watch this video, and I felt like even I need to step it up a little bit more. Like, you think you're doing things right, but it's always good to research and ask. And
what did it when I was in court, he had me watch a different video, and now he's coming up with all these awesome videos, but I didn't get to see these. So what did he say to wear?
Okay, so he said for women, he says women should be wearing a white shirt or white blouse that buttons up in the back, or that buttons up, and with a pantsuit, preferably dark blue, gray, or black. And hair should be pulled back out of the face, no makeup, which I would have a hard time with because
No makeup?
I am covered in freckles and I still break out like I'm a teenager. It's terrible.
But he
So I'm
said no
like,
makeup at all? None?
no makeup. I was like, are you sure? Like, I gotta have, that's a hard one. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would just do it, but I wouldn't really, I don't know. I'm used to wearing makeup a lot. But I guess, I don't know. He said, yeah, he said all natural. He said hair pulled back and a pearl necklace with pearl earrings to match, which it makes you come off elegant. And, you know, I mean, I get it. I think it promotes a certain level of respect. Like he was saying that for the men, they should be wearing a suit and tie. And, you know, my boyfriend wore probably like a button up, but it wasn't like a suit with a tie. So it's like we felt we dressed nice.
Yeah.
I just wore a button up and some tights and some slip-ons, and I had my hair down. But you know,
I know the video that I watched said to wear, you know, neutral colors. So like neutral, gray, brown, black, white type of color.
yeah,
No patterns. Nothing that like screams, look at me. Closed-toed shoes, no denim. So I always I have these nice like slacks in a sense. I have a couple pairs, and then button ups, you know, with like a blazer. I had a couple different colors.
yeah.
And I did wear makeup though, like, but I
But
mean,
not like heavy makeup, just like
even
just like an eyeliner. And I mean, I do my eyebrows, but
yeah, I have to do eyebrows or I don't have any.
yeah, I put a little bit more shape to mine, I feel like, so I mean I do that too.
Let me see.
So I think as long as I mean, because I have hair on my eyebrows, but I still kind of draw them in just to give them like a little more shape.
I like your eyebrows.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I try to have them still look natural, just a little bit more distinctive, I guess.
Yeah.
But I hear what he's saying. Like, he doesn't want people to be like the women shouldn't have like heavy makeup. Like, I probably wouldn't wear lipstick. I might just wear like eyeliner and
right.
a little bit of blush, and that's it. I don't know. Just something just light or natural looking makeup. So I get what he's saying. And he was talking about how when men wear these ties and these suits, like that's how the president dresses. Like there's a reason why they dress like that. It reflects the level of respect. And so I'm going to be taking that into consideration when I go into my next hearing, and hopefully I'm noticed a little bit more and because like I do feel like in my last couple of hearings there was very little evidence presented, and that's what sucks the most is when you go to these court hearings, you wait like a whole month to go, and then you go and you get like one sentence in, or you're able to reveal like one thing about yourself, and
you barely have any.
Before you know it, like so many months have gone by and you don't feel like you've resolved hardly anything.
No.
The system is just man, our system is just terrible.
It
I
is.
never knew it was that bad until this experience. Like, it just scares me. It's
Yeah.
completely ridiculous.
So where did we leave off?
Um, let's see. I'm trying to think now. I think I spoke a little bit more about my daughter's case, and you know how that one's been going on almost just about a year now. And then I have this new case that started. Oh wow, they both started kind of like in July when yeah, so for the first case I was taken to court around July 11th, and then this July was my first couple hearings with my son, and so far they just decided placement. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to present some evidence for these cases when we go in, and I can at least do, if not visits over at my boyfriend's house, at least get like unsupervised or something. I've been doing everything for, you know, I feel like I'm pretty close to finishing a lot of the stuff that they asked for my first case, but they want to stop, you know, everything. And for my second case, we barely got to talk on behalf of what happened and how we don't feel like it's right. And I really want to request a new judge because I had a different judge for my hearing with my mother-in-law where she tried to have custody of my daughter and I won and disproved everything. I feel like if that judge can see this new case where I'm dealing with CPS shortly after winning a custody battle, and ironically, it's like all the same allegations as my last case, I think it would just be dropped. Like, I don't see how anyone would continue on with this case knowing that a lot of it is made up and a lot of it is based on um, differences that I may have with someone, you know. It's like all of their concerns are based off of a rumor. And
Right.
I run and I tell everybody, like, this isn't true, this isn't true. And, you know, it doesn't really go anywhere. So I'm just trying really hard to pay attention to all the details and educate myself as much as possible so that I know how to handle each of these situations.
Where do you feel the most lost?
Not being able to communicate with my kids enough. Like, I feel like, okay, I know I have scheduled visits, but I should get to talk to them on the phone every day. Like, even my baby, I want him to hear my voice. And with him, it's a lot easier because I communicate with my boyfriend's family all the time, and they're very supportive and they're great, and they don't have nothing against me.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say
they're trying to help me.
they're
So
not
that's a
trying to keep
completely,
your kid.
yeah, they're not trying to keep my kid from me. With my other past relationship, it's totally different. It's the opposite. This
Right.
person does not like me. This person does not want me to keep my kid, does not think I should have my kid. And I don't understand why either. Because like I said in the first video, I didn't think anything was wrong when all of this happened. I thought everything was okay, and we were co-parenting. But I guess she was just waiting to take my child from me, and she thought I was going to move away to San Francisco. So, but in the cases, it sounds like as if she makes it sound like I don't have the right to like move wherever with my child. Like, she talks about it in the case like um, mother is threatening to take child from me, and
Who
it's like,
said that?
I'm like, I'm the parent. I have the right to live with my daughter anywhere. Like, you're grandma, but like, this is my right to choose for my kid. She thinks she's the parent and I'm the help. That's how I've been treated this whole time, and
that's exactly how I was treated, if that way at all. But that's, if you were to read the comments and stuff that my mom puts out still to this day on Facebook or whatever, it is very much
one-sided.
I took her kids.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about this is she acts like the victim so hard. She is just able to get the sympathy from these people when I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, nobody's threatening anything, and I'm the one who's having their rights being taken away, violated. Like, I'm the parent. I'm supposed to, like, make all of these calls. And I wasn't even gonna, like, I've never so much as ignored her calls whenever she would try to communicate with me to talk to my daughter. Like, I had no problem with her having a relationship with my kid. She's grandma. But now, like, it's become so different to where I'm like, I don't know if you're bad-mouthing me or not. I get the feeling that you are.
Mm-hmm.
My kid says some questionable things to me that I'm like, why are you saying that to me? You know, it's a mixture of questionable questions, if that makes sense. Like, my kid will ask me things that make me feel like people are telling her bad things about me.
Well, yeah.
So I'm just
I mean,
worried about that. I'm really worried about that.
Look at it from their point of view. If they don't have this bad story, what's the reasoning of why they would have your child?
Yeah, I just think it's so sad to, like, manipulate a little kid into that and confuse the hell out of them when they're 6. Like,
yeah, that's how old my daughter was.
They trust you, you know? They trust you. You're their role model. Whoever's around them raising them is their role model.
Yeah.
And, like, and it sucks because, like, she wasn't a terrible grandma. She's a great grandma. But she is a terrible person, in my opinion. Because why would you, if you really care about my kid, why are you keeping me from her? Like, I love her. I want to take care of her. I want to be with her. And she wants to be with me. And you are taking that from her.
Right.
And it's just not, it's not okay. It's not right. And I don't see how CPS can have the right to take your child first and ask questions later and investigate everything later. And all the while, months and months are going by when you're able to create you're able to present little bits of evidence at a time. Even if you have, like, a whole briefcase full of evidence, they don't, I mean, in my case, in my hearings, I haven't been able to show them, like, everything I have to disprove whatever I'm being accused of, or to show that I'm doing what I can to get back reunified with my daughter. I've got a million copies of clean tests, and they really only let me bring in, like, one, and I want them to, like, show every single one that I have. Like this is a long period of time where I'm testing clean, and this is the department's concern. Well, then why, if I'm disproving it for so long now, can't I just be reunified with my child already? Like, they keep prolonging that. Yeah, it's just like dangling the carrot in front of you, and you're on a treadmill, and you can't get to it, and you're a rabbit, and you're just like, yeah. I'm not getting anywhere.
Right.
It sucks. So, well, thank God that at least my boyfriend has one of Vince Davis's attorneys, because I'm hoping for my son's case that they're able to prove enough evidence that this all gets thrown out or goes away within the next month or two, because I think he's gonna for sure be able to present evidence a lot more than I can present with my public defender or my court-appointed attorney, which, yes, it's the same thing. I went back and I watched my own video and I realized, like, oh yeah, like, it, because we were talking about, a lot of people were asking if I had a court-appointed attorney. So,
Right.
yes, I did have a court-appointed attorney. I just, sometimes they call them public defenders. So I just went, that's what I was calling them. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's
And
just the one.
I wanted to tell you what I feel. This is my opinion. What I think it comes down to is they're narcissists. Do you know what a narcissist is?
Yeah, they start believing their own lies, it feels like.
Yeah, I'll actually read you. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Sorry. When you hear this, you'll understand, because it's almost like another thing that they do too is they like to create a mess and then be the one to pick it up so everybody can be like, wow, you're so amazing.
Yeah, you fixed everything. That makes sense, because it's like, yeah, if they create the mess, they know how to fix it, because they're the ones who made it a mess.
Right. So, what is narcissistic personality disorder? The word narcissism, oh, and that's the other thing. I can't tell you how many times my mother has called me crazy and a liar. It's like so repetitive, and it just keeps going and going and going. It's like annoying.
Yeah, it is.
And it's the same thing. And
It is. It causes you anxiety and like mood swings.
yeah, I don't care anymore, because I have made a decision that the only people I'm going to allow to bother me, like hurt me, my feelings and stuff, are the people that truly care about me. And we know who those people are. So if you're not, for me, my list of the person, if you're not, loving on me and my kids, caring about us, supporting us in a not a financial way, but you know what I mean, like, hey,
You're not involved in your guys' life.
yeah, you're, and you're not there because you're taking something from me.
Yeah.
It's and then my things that are for me very important, but we have the same, beliefs in the Lord, and you're, you have your relationship with God, and you're encouraging me in mine and stuff like that. So if somebody that belongs in that list then puts me down in a whatever way, it would hurt my feelings. But for somebody who I don't really care anymore, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing that scares me is that this one person that, you know, I wish would just like leave me alone, go away. they keep getting other people involved in my life, and like,
Yeah.
it's a repetitive, really just,
Who else is getting involved?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think possibly my ex-fiance.
Um,
I haven't been in contact with him in months, but after he served his time and did his year at rehab, and and I mean, things got real bad between us, but we after he got help and I got help, we were able to communicate as friends and co-parent just fine. But as soon as I was pregnant again, and by the way, I know you were asking, like, did my daughter get to see me? No, actually, she did not see me during my entire pregnancy. Well, no, not my entire pregnancy. At the beginning, she did. Until I started showing, I didn't get to see her for a while, and they also didn't want me talking about my child, which was weird. But that's probably why they had me do video calls and not do visits. Like, they were kind of like hiding my pregnancy from my kid, and I'm like, well, eventually she's gonna have to know, so why wait to tell her? And just there's so many other people's opinions being thrown out there, and my ex-mother-in-law is one of them. And I just don't want I'm trying to keep both of my cases like separate, and it feels like they're trying to like merge my first case with my second one by trying to get my second child placed in foster care with my first child with my ex-mother-in-law. That's what I don't want to happen, because there's no reason that should happen.
no,
But these people just,
won't
they're
stop.
very predictable sometimes. Yeah, like they just, some days are fine and I can work with them okay, and then some days are not, and they give me like a bunch of tasks that I need to do, and um, it's getting to the point where it's just like it's getting harder to take care of myself. But I just want to go to court and
Yeah. I
just
wanted to
do as much of this as possible.
read you the narcissist.
Oh yeah.
So they live in a fantasy world that supports their delusions. They need constant praise and admiration, sense of entitlement, exploits others without guilt or shame.
That does sound like CPS already.
Well, and
Sorry.
no, you're fine, but I feel like it also, it's like my mom, and you were saying your mother-in-law or ex-mother-in-law, need constant praise and admiration, sense of entitlement, exploits others without guilt or shame, frequently demeans, intimidates, bullies, or belittles.
Yeah, she had every single bad thing to say about me. So
Yeah.
whenever all these anonymous calls are made, I know I just get the feeling I know who it is. And it becomes very obvious with whatever allegations are said. It's like, okay, I know who's doing this. And I don't know, I was a little bit freaked out when I first was told that, someone called again. And then when I told my supervisor, she kind of just made the face like, really, again? So like she didn't seem worried, and that put me at ease. So it's like you deal with different people. Some of them are a little bit more like, okay, not this again, and then sometimes they'll go along with you, and they'll, okay, we'll write it down, we'll make a note of it, someone keep calling. And then, but there's so many people working in the department, you don't know when it's going to change or where it's going to go. And that's what makes it tough to manage this whole relationship, this case.
I know, and I can't tell you how many times, every time we would move forward with the social worker, something would happen. Like,
yeah,
one of them, I remember when we went to mediation, the social worker told me, she said, I can't wait to be off this case and not have to deal with your mother. And I was like, and oh, it gets better. It gets better. Then the next one got in a car accident.
oh wow.
Yeah, that's not a good thing at all, because I was supposed to start having unsupervised visits at that time. And then that happened. And then I had to start all over with the new social worker.
Oh
And yeah, and then hold on, because there was Solana, there was another one. But one of the last one told me that she's gonna need therapy after dealing with my mom.
Why? Therapy?
Yeah, that because of how crazy my mom was making everybody. She said she was gonna need therapy after dealing with my mom.
Whoa. Wow.
So,
that's crazy.
and she even said, like, none of this would have happened if your dad put your mom in her place where she belongs.
Oh wow.
And I'll never, like, she was actually a really good social worker. And I really felt, I mean, she was the one I ended up getting my kids back with, and we ended up.
You start to wonder if any of them have ever given kids back, and then I can imagine it was a relief for you. Did you feel like after a while with this social worker, like did you know beforehand, like it's going in the direction of you think you're gonna get your kids back?
Well, so she comes I'll never forget, the very first day that we ever met, we went to the park and I had an unsupervised visit with my kids, and she didn't tell me anything. She just said, I'm going to come and introduce myself and then I'm going to go. I said, okay. And so apparently, and I found this out later, but she had been watching me and the kids.
So it was an unsupervised visit.
Well, okay, let me finish it. And then, yes, it was, it ended up being a good thing. So she gets out of the car. Again, I had no idea she was even there because I've never met her before. Sorry, I have the hiccups so bad.
You need to have one of your kids come in and scare you randomly.
No, because they do give me a heart attack.
No, holding a drink.
So she introduces herself and is visiting, and then she goes, I don't see any anxiety. And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, well, your mom has told everybody that you give your kids so much anxiety they can't even, like, focus. I said, huh. I called my daughter over and I said, has mommy ever done anything to make you feel anxious or, anything like that? She goes, no. And I said, well, the social worker was allowing me to ask, to kind of.
Yeah.
We found out that not only have I never caused my kids anxiety. So anyways, we found out that my daughter, when she was supposed to be going to her therapy sessions, that my mom was doing the majority of the talking. So every time there would be a report from the therapist, and she's saying, oh, that the mom causes anxiety for the kids. And same thing with the teacher. My mom was going and talking to the teachers and telling them that I'm causing anxiety in them.
But she's just peddling the same, like, rumor to every single person involved in your life.
Yes.
And trying to make everyone a believer of all these things that are not true.
Yes. 100%. So, it gets better too. Sorry, I keep pausing because my brain is just not, there's so much on my brain.
That's okay, there's a lot in there.
Yeah, that it just goes like, bleh. So then after she's done meeting with me and the kids, I take the kids home back to my mom's, and then she goes over there. Well, it was supposed to be just my parents. Well, my mom set it up to where there was other people there, like a court reporter, like where they write things down at the court. What are those called?
The person who types up everything, the whole report, the record holder, or something like that.
Anyways, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She had one of them there.
Oh.
And so the social worker, the reason I know all of this is because then the next day the social worker came to my house to view my house and see how I had it set up and everything.
Yeah.
And she said, do you know that none of this would have happened if your dad put your mom in her place where she belongs? She said, when I got to your parents' house, I was bombarded with people. Nobody was supposed to be there except for your mom and your dad.
So they were overwhelmed when they went to visit your parents?
Yeah, because nobody else was supposed to be there, and they had other people there.
Oh.
Like, secretly.
Oh. Wow.
Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, so they finally just kind of were like, all right, this lady's not saying the truth, and they how did they take how did your mom react when they took your kids out of her care?
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget the day, the last day of court when the case got closed. My mom was screaming at me in the hallway of the courthouse.
Oh my God.
And it was an amazing day. Like,
yeah, and it probably, she's making herself look bad right there, so they're probably going to be like,
yes,
oh, this lady, like, we can't get involved with this lady anymore.
But then I don't know who in their right mind did this, and I think my attorney can go after them. I'm not sure. It's been so busy with all of this stuff I'm doing and everything.
Yeah.
But she had an article in a newspaper written about me, basically stating that I was going to be the next parent to murder her children.
What?
Yeah.
And she still refers to your children as her children.
Yes, like she does say that she is the grandmother or grandparent, but they're her kids. And it's crazy because, like, on Facebook and stuff, she would have pictures of my kids and, please pray that they get returned to me and to her. And
oh my God,
just nonsense. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. And I've just been totally just in awe of this whole situation, because there was a time where I was taking care of this lady. Like, my ex-mother-in-law and I were close at one time. I lived with her for 5 years, and at least the good, like, 3 years, the first 3 years, I like to think were, like, pretty good. Only in the last 2 years did everything get kind of screwed up, but I was the only one working. I was paying her mortgage, I was paying her utilities, I was putting food in the fridge, and I mean I worked 3 jobs to do that, and I helped out as much as possible, and I even helped her pay for her attorney for her divorce, so that she could keep the house, because she kept thinking she was going to lose the house to her divorce. So I was like, no, we live here, my child lives here, like we all live here, like we're not losing the house. Like I will work as much as possible to make sure that does not happen. And even her own son wasn't like helping pay for anything, or hardly ever. You know, I don't want to say he never helped, but
Right, I
he
understand.
he wasn't consecutive with it. Like he wasn't constant. It was just like once in a while he'd help, and that's it. Like oh, I paid rent last month. It's like you gotta pay rent every month, like not just every few months. Like
Yeah. And it isn't like a tag, your turn type of thing.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, just like the last few years it got hard, but she got disability, and once that came in, that's when she really started kind of distancing herself from me and trying to
Do you think that she wants your son, the baby, for the money?
she does get paid to take care of my daughter. So
Like
yeah,
now
we did
that
talk about that.
I hear you talking about money, and I'm like,
Yeah, we did have that talk. You know, it's probably just another check for her. But how bizarre! It's like from my new relationship, like you're trying to like butt into my,
yeah, very.
you
And
know, it's
I wanted to say that too, because you brought up taking care of her. That was the crazy thing, too, about so a year. I don't know. I don't really believe in like coincidences, I don't know. But a year to the day that my kids were taken by my mom, like on the exact same day. The year prior, my mom had fallen off of a 24-foot ladder and almost died.
my
And
mother-in-law almost died too, and I saved her life. Did you save your mom?
I wouldn't say I saved her, but I moved them into my house.
Oh, okay, so you helped her.
Yeah. Took care
Yeah,
of her, took care of my dad, everything.
yeah. What really bothers me too about my case with my daughter is that my mother-in-law, 2 years back, I think, she was over medicated with her prescription, and she collapsed one day. I heard a thud. You know, this is when I lived with her at night, and I jump up out of bed. I check my daughter's room, and she's sound asleep. So then, and the house was a little bit weird. The rooms were connected, so my room was. I had 2 doors in my room, one that goes out to the living room, and one that's connected. It goes into my daughter's room, and then my daughter has another door in her room, and it goes into her grandma's room, so my ex-mother-in-law's room. So I jump out of bed and I go through all the rooms into her room, and she's not in bed. And then I see like the crack of the bathroom door open like that much, and I see that she's in there. So I'm like, hey, are you in there? Are you okay? I heard a sound, and she's like mumbling. So I'm like knocking on the door, like, hey, are you okay? Say something. And she won't say anything. She's like mumbling. I can't really understand what she's saying. So I open the door, and she's like falling. She's currently on the bathroom. She's like mid going to the bathroom and also passing out. So she was really dehydrated and over medicated, and I had to clean her up, drag her out of the bathroom, and I couldn't get her to be conscious. She passed out, and I just started screaming for help, and then her son gets out of bed, and I started screaming just call 911, like something's wrong with your mom. and the ambulance came and took her, and she was in that happened twice, but I was there for one of the times, and I was able to, it was in the middle of the night, so, and they told her that if she hadn't have got to the ambulance or to the hospital, she would have died. So, like, that's always in the back of my mind, like how could this lady do this to me? Like, I saved her life, and she hates me. And it just kills me. You know, I really, I care so much about so many people, and I never do anything to hurt anybody. Like, I have like no enemies, you know, other than her, I guess. But I just don't, I wish I knew why she hated me so much. All I did was try, and she just wants my kid. Well, I hope that I can get some more advice from your attorney.
Yeah.
And
I look forward to doing that with him. Yeah. I will update you and everybody who's interested. I think we might make it like a private thing. Something more, you know. So we'll figure it out. We're going to talk about it tonight, and then I'll let you know.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I also wanted to tell you, my mom also, my mom hasn't been able to see my daughter since February, and I don't know why, but they're keeping her out of the case completely, it seems like. Are your kids' father, are their parents, like, involved? Your kids' other grandparents?
So they were involved in assisting my mom. They were on my mom's side.
Oh, okay. That's
when I got my kids back, they asked, you know, if they could have a relationship with my kids.
Oh.
And it was very hard to...
Yeah, because it's like you can't trust them.
Right.
It's hard. And you don't want to, like, cut off these relationships, but you can't risk your children being removed from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different enchilada. Like, that's...
So, what I told them was, you know, to build up trust, okay, yes. But I will be there.
Yeah, like, you're going to have supervised visits now.
That's exactly.
You're going to be scheduled calling. Like, you're going to have to work around me and my schedule.
So,
yeah, I get to the point where you can't trust. It's bad.
My ex-mother-in-law was only there for one thing, and she said she was out, you know. So we see her, I wouldn't say often, but like we go to her house in Havasu once or twice a year, and we stay. I get to go too, you know. We stay for a whole week, and the kids do crafts and swim and hang out with.
That's good that you guys can go back to co-parenting.
I'm very and that's the thing, like I kept trying to explain to my mom, you know, I will be getting my kids back. And you're making it to where you won't ever see my kids again.
Yeah, it's like you're just making it worse for yourself. Like,
and if you love them so much,
yeah, you're not going to do this.
And you want to be with them.
Yeah.
Think about what's going to happen. Like, who in their right mind would let you see their kids after stealing them? You know, and so,
yeah, and I mean, my mom feels the exact same way I do, you know, she misses my daughter so much. She's the other grandma too, and she's a great grandma as well, and she was upset that they didn't take her into consideration for fostering, but it looks like I don't know, I think it's because my ex-mother-in-law kind of like, she already knew what to do through the department, and she had it all set up to where she could foster already. So I guess she was just ahead of us on that.
Has she fostered before?
No, that's her first time. So I've been telling my mom, let's see if you can find out what you need to do that you can foster. And they haven't, they told my mom she had to do a live scan, so she did.
Yeah.
And then just nothing ever came of it.
She needs to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Regardless,
I think she did kind of give up, but see, this is what happens. Like, sometimes people just don't know what else to do. They don't know what else to do, and it's stay informed. Stay informed and save every single documentary piece of information, evidence you can get your hands on.
Is there because I want to, when we're done, I'm going to stop the recording so that you and I can still talk for a minute. But is there anything else that you would want to tell parents that are listening right now?
Yeah. Run! No, I'm just kidding. If you're involved with CPS, or if they come knocking on your door, you don't have to answer. You don't have to talk to them. Know your rights and avoid them completely at all costs. If they do not have a case open against you, they have like 10 days to do that. If you do have a CPS case open, just make sure you get proof of everything, and you do it within, from the first to the second hearing. Get as much of it done as you can. That's all I can say.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming back on and doing that.